What's up, guys? King in the North here, bringing you Guide for Cure Mode on Plague Inc. I'm going to start things off with bacteria. For this first disease, I will be going over things in great detail to help give the basics of what we are trying to do. Moving forward, I'll be more focused on strategy rather than the basics that we should be picking up in this playthrough here. This is going to be my task force that I'm going to roll with here. The fast response EMTs are nice here because you can move around quickly, which is very helpful. I also consider economic aid to be helpful here. It helps if you're going to use more lockdowns. Technical officer reduces global infection rate. This is also a good one because it helps keep infection rates down globally. The medical coordinator is very helpful. I think is a big perk here. Reduces authority loss from panic, and panic builds up when there's an increase in infection spread or deaths, so this can help keep that under control a little bit. These other ones are more situational, but the panic this is really the only way to combat panic if things get out of control. And celebrity scientist, I like this because quarantines build up non-compliance, and this kind of helps reduce that a little bit. These other ones are more situational, where the game takes over, rather have less compliance issues. We're going to go with increased research speed for the vaccine. These other ones are pretty helpful, but you can actually invest into these later on for screening, which would reduce the chance of things spreading through ports, airports, and lands transmissions. This isn't a bad one. Increases disease analysis, but this is not helpful for bacteria because that is an instant get as soon as you find host country. So with that said, let us begin. Remember that this is heavily RNG based, so the playthrough that you see here is drastically going to differ from what you experience. But you'll be able to follow what I do guideline wise, and it should help get you through this. At the very start, we don't have access to anything, so let's grab investigate outbreaks so we can start finding diseases. Government partnerships, so they start working together, and we are going to deploy field operatives. This is going to help us locate where the disease is. You see these red dots popping up, so let's head right to Africa. And this is spreading rapidly. So what we need to do is find the epidemic center. Okay, Central Africa is the start. So because we've now analyzed the disease, we have more traits. We want to get infection control, so now our field operatives are able to combat the disease and lower infection in that zone. We do want to start rolling out responses as well. Contact tracing is going to be helpful early on. Grab that. Then we want to start working on more combat for the actual disease itself with response initiatives for lowering infection rates. Down here is more for fatality combat, so like when deaths start going up, you'll want to invest over here. We do need to start putting into the cure, but this will become cheaper over time as the bacteria begins to spread. So we'll go with self-isolation. You see, we want to get the infection rate bar down. I did grab... Yeah, so we have this. We just need to get the actual infection rates down a bit. So keep an eye on these numbers. This is the country we're currently in. Our control specialists are helping lower these numbers. Deaths are a little high. 15 points. This can come down a little bit lower. We are going to head to another country. You do want to keep moving these guys around because they are a good source of stomping out the disease a little bit. This is now down to 15. Grab social distancing here. Grab this. We'll start have screening for travel. As you see, we can actually lock down Africa probably because everything is kind of right here. It is getting out a little bit, but the sooner we get this under control here, the better we'll be. But lockdowns will start to impact our authority. Come here, and this will help combat the non-compliance. Do want to grab local lockdowns next. We are taking a hit authority-wise here, but it has helped slow down the spread a little bit. So we are about to lift the lockdown. I do want to move these guys to our next destination here. We'll lift the lockdowns. We'll get refunded for our points. Once we have this is down to 11, so let's start research. Already jumped back up. Come in here. Disease spread is currently affecting our authority, so we definitely need to be putting some points into some traits here to combat infection rate. So if we get 7 more points, we'll be able to do local lockdowns. That'll really speed things up a little bit here. 16, 17. 1 more point. There we go. You're going to see this drop down a little bit, but compliance will increase a little bit. But this is actually a very good get at this point. Let's check, see how things are doing. They're doing okay in those zones. You just want to make sure this red bar doesn't grow too much, because you'll be hitting a critical mass where things will just kind of grow exponentially. So go with the 92% increase here. We will grab airports next. So there'll be less plane transmissions, although, you know, it's kind of going nuts right now. I feel like planes is stopping or having screening on planes is a good way to slow down things from blowing up all over the globe, because the planes can have a much further reach. Ships wouldn't be bad next, but we do want to start increasing our research speed. We'll grab more testing capacity and contact tracing again. Still kind of early on. Alright, so disease spread is still our biggest concern. 7% here in Egypt. We'll send the troops to Egypt to help slow down the infection there. Things are getting pretty bad in Africa right now, so I am going to do the border control screening. Grab that next. We'll speed this up a little bit just to help pass time along here. Don't want these being too long, getting too boring, but we do want to make sure we're keeping an eye on these local regions here. making sure they're not getting too out of control. Another thing we can look at is the world map here and go to the infection thing here, and this will show you a percentage of population that are infected. It might be better to look at this occasionally. Actually, we need these. We need to get here now. This is a very large red bar. That's a much higher chance of, you know, multiplying on us. Okay, so we're at 32 points. Let's start vaccine manufacturing. You can do this early. Get things in place before the vaccine is started. Let's do mask wearing. As you see, it gives a nice little kick to the infection rate. See, this is pretty much been stifled over here. We will grab port screening next. See where we can move these guys. Everything is mostly in Africa right now. Because this was the starting zone, it got a little out of control on us. I'll go to Madagascar next. Said another good overview, instead of just looking around on the map with the pointer, is by checking the global infection here. So like I said, Africa, it's a little bit more inflamed in this area. So I am going to grab this for 8 points, just so, because we are nearly done our research here. How are we doing here? Okay, Madagascar is fine. Get them out of there. Vaccine manufacturing bottleneck. So we're not able to get crazy with production just yet. But deaths are low. Disease spread is relatively low, and there's not much panic going on because we've managed to contain the infection, slow the infection rates. Over here, though, see, this is getting a little red, so let's send some help over there. Can go back into here, get some more traits to slow down infection if we really want to. You can buy authority if you need to. It's not going to be necessary here. As you see, we mostly have this under control. Increase testing capacity again. Some red dots here, but it's pretty much under control. This has been calmed down quite a bit. So I'm going to put this on ×3. Speed it up even more. Can't afford this. It's 28. Probably gonna beat it before we get to that 28, probably. 26, 27. Yeah, production's just right there. And then it's the rollout, and we've eradicated this bacteria. Like I said, guys, this experience will vary depending on your playthrough, but you get the general idea as to what I was going for here. Keeping an eye on the infection rates in certain areas and making sure the ground troops are able to get there and help minimize risk. So that's going to do it for bacteria. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all over at the virus playthrough. Peace.